Steve here with Half Dozen Customs. We're back out here in the shop today, and it has been a bad past week for heaters. We had some 70-degree weather. It was really nice for about a week, and we didn't need any heaters. And then it got cold again, and when I went to try and warm up the shop, everything just started falling apart on me. So if you guys haven't seen the other video of the torpedo heater, we've been working on that, trying to get that together. I'm waiting on some parts which should be here today. But this heater, over the past month, I would say, it's been a lot of black smoke and soot out of it. And I thought originally, because we were having problems with both heaters at the same time, that maybe I got a bad batch of gas. So I've been trying to run through all the gas that we had here in hopes that that was it. And we went and refilled everything and put fresh gas and everything in, and that wasn't it. So now I came out here this morning to fire this guy up, and he won't even fire up. So we had this thing apart, I don't know, probably about 2 months ago, and I was going to put a new wick in it. And when I pulled it all apart and I looked at the wick, it looked like it was brand new. They say depending on the use, you know, you got to replace it seasonally. So, and we use this thing every day, so it gets a lot of use. There has been a couple of times where we've had it running and I'm out here working in the shop and I realize that it's out of fuel. And when that happens, it's just the wick burning and not the fuel burning. And that will burn out your wick really fast. So, and it's happened multiple times out here. I'm just too busy working and not paying attention to it, and it runs out of gas and it burns away that wick. So I think that that's kind of what happened and helped speed up the process over the last couple months. But we're going to take this guy back apart, and hopefully we find out that, you know, the wick does need to be replaced this time, and I have the new one, and we'll get it installed and hopefully have some form of heat running back out here again, because we need it this week for sure. So start with this guy, and he's just got these little smash tabs on it. You just got to make sure you line those up. It's usually straight sideways like this, and then you can pull them out. These guys here have little hooks on them, and it is kind of tricky because as you're taking everything apart, it wants to hook onto everything. I don't see a wick in there. Normally the wick is sticking up out the top. I'll show you guys. So the wick comes out right here. And as you can see, there's no wick. So I think that is our issue. Good thing I didn't return that one. I almost went and returned it because And it was like $30. So there's like, I think 4 screws along the bottom, 4 or 5 screws along the bottom here. And there is your wick. So as you can see, it looks pretty toasty. So now I don't remember exactly how I took this guy apart. Let me do some quick research real quick and look to see. I think this was as far as I got last time taking it apart. I think we got to take these 4 wing nuts off on the bottom, but I'm not sure. Let me just double check before we go any further. So hold the knob off of the side here, and then there's these 4 wing nuts down here on the bottom that allows you to pull the whole assembly out. Now, should probably drain any fuel that's in here and let it sit for, you know, a day before you do this. I did not. I actually filled it up this morning before I tried to light it, so, and it wouldn't light. So now she's full to the top of kerosene. got that out. I'll show you guys that here in just a minute. Okay, so inside this thing, there's a bunch of little hooks, little sharp hooks in there, and that's what sticks to the wick. I don't know what that thing is or why it's loose. To find where I put the new wick, so I'm gonna bring you guys over here and show you. So you can see this orange line, okay, and up to the top, that is your wick part. So if you look at the one that I threw away, so there is your orange line, and you can see that the wick is pretty much gone there. So I think I'm gonna go get that old wick because it sure doesn't look like. Sure don't look like that's bad. I'm just gonna freaking replace it. I'm not pulling this thing apart again. So let's just put the new one on. just double check and see where this is supposed to be set. Okay, so it looks like when you're setting this, there is this line here. There's this line, and this line should be lined up with the bottom of the base. Showed you all those little sharp teethies in there, and those little teethies, you got to push this onto those teethies to lock it in. Be careful doing this. I haven't been poked yet, but I bet if you push hard enough, you could. Okay. Carefully slip this down and around. Oh, poopers. That's got to be inside. Oh. Don't forget the rubber seal. got that rubber seal on backwards. Good job, me. I think it was on backwards. That's the same both sides. Man, I am just not good when it comes to these heaters. There we go. That's better. Sure it's good and tight. And I'm going to check it and make sure we're working. Okay. So I got this heater put back together off camera. My bad, I didn't film it. I had my buddy that owns the Jeep came over, and then Colleen came out here, and I just kind of put it together while we were all talking. So I put it all together. So after I had shut off the video, I had cranked up the wick to see where everything was sitting. From everything that I've seen, they said that it should stick up. So from everything that I've seen, they say when you crank it up, it should stick up like 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. And we weren't getting that. It was right at the top. So I ended up taking the wick back out, and I moved it up and put it back in, and we put it together, and I don't know, we're 3/4 of an inch or so, I would say. So I'm gonna set this thing down. We're gonna attempt to fire it up, and hopefully everything's good and we don't burn the shop down. So this don't go as planned, out the door it goes. So let's see. And we have flame. So I have it on low at the moment, and it lit right up. I haven't been able to do that for weeks. I've been having to turn it all the way up to high to even get it to ignite. And that's why this morning I had it cranked all the way to high, tried to ignite it, and it wouldn't ignite. So it is lit up, and we have some heat. So I apologize for not showing me reassembling it. There may be some video of me reassembling it a couple of months ago when we attempted to do this the first time. If so, hopefully it got added into the video, so it does show it getting put back together. All I would say is, you know, I guess follow the directions. It said to keep that black line at the base, and that didn't work out in my case. Now that I got that wick from Ace, I went in there with the part number. That part number was not on the package, but the guy assured me that that was the correct wick. Maybe it wasn't the right wick, and that's why that black line didn't work out for me. But we got it. So I guess if that black line doesn't work out for you, just slide it up until you know, you have about a 1/2 inch or 3/4 of an inch from what I've seen sticking out when you crank it up. Only other thing that I've noticed on it, which I noticed before we did all this, that sometimes I had to do that. When you go to shut it off, you actually have to hold the shut off and spin the knob to shut it off. So maybe it'll break in as we use it. Yeah, see, it's not shutting off, so I gotta hold this down and spin it to shut it off. No big deal. It is kind of a safety feature. That little ball that was really loose on there, and I said I don't know what that's for. So that's a safety. If this thing gets knocked over, it'll shut itself off. Yeah, I'm not really worried about knocking this thing over out here, but yeah, I guess just be careful when you're putting these things together. They are a fire hazard if they're put together wrong, so good luck. We have heat again. Alright, I'm out. Have a good day. Remember to like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. Dave here, and we're back out for just a little quick update on our little heater that we put that wick in today. It's working awesome. I'm super happy with it. It is on low, it is working great, which it has never worked that great on low. I'm not having to turn it all the way up to high to get heat out of it, so that's awesome. And I had said something earlier at the end of the video that when I was hitting the shutoff, I was having to turn the dial as I was holding down that shutoff. And that's not really safe. Like I said, there's that mechanism in there that if it gets tipped, it'll shut itself off. And that wasn't going to work the way that it was set up, or the way that it had turned out. But after using it, you hit the shut off and it shuts right off. So I don't know if it was just the heat of it or whatnot that corrected it, but after we fired it up earlier at the end of the video, and I did some more work around out in the shop, and when I went to go in for lunch and I hit that button to shut it off, it shut off. We've been out here all evening working. I just hit the button to shut it off and it shut off. So after using it, it works now. So I just wanted to give that little update, and I'll see you guys in the next one.